Yes, year six, we've made it. It's now Friday. It is the end of this topic with area and maths. This is now your chance to show me just how incredible you guys are at finding different areas by doing a lot and lot of problem solving. So we're going to be using the areas of triangles, rectangles, and parallelograms to solve these problems. So we could work out all the different areas that are in these weird different gardens that we're going to be looking at. Start off with them. I want you to rewind. How do we find the area of a rectangle? What is the area? How do we find the area of this triangle? And how will we find the area of this parallelogram? Pause the video, off you go. Okay, so let's have a quick look. This one then is nice and easy, base times height, which is 2 times 6, which is going to be 12 meters squared, 12 meters squared, sorry, yeah. This one, base times height, and then divide it by 2. So 4 times 5, not the diagonal. Remember, we were looking at that word perpendicular yesterday with the right angle on there. So 4 times 5 is 20. Half it then is 10 meters squared for that triangle. And then the parallelogram is incredibly similar to the rectangle, okay? It's just that perpendicular height there, not the diagonal length of this side here. So it's 6, the base is 6 meters, and the height here is 4 meters, and that's it. So it's just like, you know, halving, no doubling, no nothing. It's just 6 times the 4, which is 24 meters squared, and that will find the area of that parallelogram. Very similar to a rectangle in the case that you just times 2 numbers together, but very similar to a triangle in the fact that you need to find that perpendicular height, not the diagonal line. Okay, so the way this lesson is going to work is I'm going to pose a problem to you. I'm going to give you some time to work it out, and then we'll go through it together on here. We'll then answer some of your own questions, and then we'll do another problem. Then you'll answer your own questions again. Then I've got a little task to set you for you to submit on your portfolios at the end of the lesson. Okay, now these lessons, oh sorry, not these lessons, these questions seem hard. If you look at it, there's lots of things there to take in. We just need to break it down. Okay, so let me just move this and try and make this a bit bigger for you. Ta-da, there we go, so you can hopefully see it all. I'll move that, everything. So I want to grow vegetables, and Mrs. O'Riordan wants to grow flowers. Has the garden been divided equally? So here's a school garden. Has it been divided equally? Or if not, who do you think has got more room to grow? So before I give it over to you, I'm going to give you some little tips here. First of all, what is the area of the whole garden? Okay, once you've got your whole garden, you can then start trying to work out little pieces of the garden. Okay, also, if you look here, there's lots and lots of different triangles. Okay, how do I work out the area of a triangle? I know it's the base times the perpendicular height. Okay, there's 2 things that I've given you. Find the area of the whole thing, and then work out how to work out, triangles. Has it been divided equally? Now I'll give you a little tip here. What's the area of the flower beds to start off with? Pause it, and then we'll go on together. Off you go. Okay, so hopefully this is how I would work it out. Personally, I like to draw, sketch things out. That's just the way I work. So I'll just sketch this out nice and quickly. Like obviously when it's in your book, it's a lot easier, isn't it? So there you go, there's that line there. So we'll look at something like that. Then I've got that triangle, which is a bit like that. Yeah, and then I've got that triangle which sits on top of it. There we go. Ta-da! So I've got something like that. Okay, and we've been told then that that is 5 meters. Yeah, I'm going to put centimeters. It'd be quite a small garden, wouldn't it? And then this one is 6 meters here. So the whole thing, so I'm going to put G for garden. Okay, so the whole thing is 5 times 6 because it's square, isn't it? Well, it's not square, it's a rectangle. It's a rectangular garden there. So 5 times 6 then is 30 meters squared. That is the whole garden. All right. Let's now work out the flower beds then. Well, these are 2 triangles, and I know how to work out a triangle because it's base times perpendicular height divided by 2. Well, do I know any of the bases of these triangles? Well, actually, yeah, look. I've been told that this line here is 6 meters. So how long is this line going to be? Well, that line is also going to be 6 meters. So I've now worked out, well, I've now been told the base of that triangle there. Well, can I work out the perpendicular height to that triangle that I've got there? Well, actually, yes, I can. the whole thing is 5 meters, but I've also been told over here that this little section of the garden is 1 meter there. So then what will be this remaining bit here? Well, the whole thing's 5, part of it is 1, so the remaining bit is then going to be 4 meters. From that section to that section there, that's going to be 4 meters. But if that's 4 meters, I now know the base, I now know the perpendicular height to that triangle. 4 times 6 is 24. What do I do to work out the area of a triangle? I halve it. So if I put number 1 there for flower bed number 1, 6 times 4 divided by 2, so 6 by 4 is 24, divided by 2 is then 12 meters squared. First triangle that I've got there. Can I then work out this second triangle? Well, yes, I can, because there's my base as such. If I was to turn this way around now, there's the base to my triangle. Well, that's 6 meters again, isn't it? Have I been told the perpendicular height here? Yes, 1 meter. So 6 times 1, and then I can just halve it. So let's call that triangle number 2. Triangle number 2 is here. So it would be 6 times 1, and then divide it by 2, which equals 6 divided by 2, which then equals 3 meters squared. Well, I've now worked out both flower beds. Well, how do I work out how much room Miss O'Riordan has got all together? I add them together, don't I? Okay, so I know this one. I now know this one. I can then add them together. 12, add 3. So I might put over here flower beds equals 12 add 3, 15 meters squared. So what's the vegetables going to be then? Well, right at the start, you worked out how much the whole thing was, didn't you? You worked out the whole thing was 30 meters squared up here. 30 meters squared. But I now know that part of it is 15 meters squared, which is flower beds. Well, how do I work out what's left? Well, I just take that off. Now, some of you won't need to take that off, because you'll realise, actually, if I did 30 take away 15, I'd end up with 15 again, straight away. So both the vegetables and the flower beds have been given 15 meters squared space in this little garden. So has the garden been divided equally? Yes, because both myself and Mrs. O'Riordan have got the same amount of space to grow whatever we want to grow. Okay, let's move on to the questions I want you to do now. So you might be able to hear Nate just coming up the stairs. I'll just crack on. So these questions here are very similar to what we've just gone through. So these are the questions I want you to do in your book by yourself, and we'll go through the answers together. So pause the video and then press play again to see what the answers were. Okay, so these are really, really easy to do, because this is just base times height again, isn't it? Look at this parallelogram here. We've been told that's 8 centimeters across the base. We've been told that diagonal is 8 centimeters there, but we've been told the perpendicular height is 7 centimeters. So all I need to do there to work out the area of this. Sorry, I've just muddled over my words there. All I need to do then to work out this is 8 lots of 7, which we all know is 56. 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 times 8 is 56 there. Okay, this one then I've got here, they've been so kind to give us the perpendicular height and showed us that with a right angle here. So I know the base is 6, I know the height is 6, so I know that is 36, and then I just halve that. Well, half of 30 is 15, half of 6 is 3, so then it will be 18 centimeters squared. And then here's my parallelogram. Now, with this one, if you had a book, you could move it around like this, and then you'd be able to see the base here, and then the perpendicular height here. Okay, now quite a few of you are probably looking like your dog's like sideways, like when you say it's dinner time, they look at you sideways at the screen there. But luckily you can just do that. So there's my base, there's my height. 8 times 10 then is 80, and so that is the area of this parallelogram here. Okay, right, next problem then that we've got is this. Make this a bit bigger again. There we go. So put an underline on that. There we go. The next problem that you've got here, this is the garden plan. And we've got Holly here who's written out the garden plan. She wants to know how much area the path is going to take. So we've got the path here and we've got the path here as well. Okay, so that's your first task, is to work out how much area the path takes up in the garden. Going back to the problem that we had before, I worked out the whole amount, didn't I, of this garden that we had here. I worked out the whole amount, and then I started taking bits away. Okay, so is there anything that I can take away? No triangles in here. There are parallelograms and there are also rectangles as well. Remember, I'm just concentrating on the path for now. So pause the video, find the whole of the garden, and then see if you can start working out parts of the path already. Pause and have a go. Right, let's quickly then sketch this out. Some of you might have sketched this out then like I did the last time. It looks something similar to this. And then we've got almost a path like that and like that. Okay, it's just a sketch, so it doesn't need to be 100%. So it looks something like that. Okay, so we've been told then that that is 10 meters going all the way across. And we've also been told the perpendicular height here is 8 meters there. But what's the whole thing? I'll put G for garden again then. The whole thing then is 8 times 10, which is 80 meters squared. Okay, so it's parallelogram, I can see that. I know how to work out the area of a parallelogram now. Done. That's the whole thing. Now I need to work out these garden paths here. And if you look at the screen over here, if I get this shape out, you can see that that is a rectangle there. Okay, how do I work out the area of that rectangle? Let's call this path 1 again. So I'm just going to do that down here, path 1. How do I work out the area of my rectangle? Well, I know it is base times height. I've been told the base here is 2 meters. Have I been told the height, this length down here? Yes, because I've got it here. It's told me it's 8 meters here. That is 8 meters, the perpendicular to the base. 2 times 8, that will give me 16 meters squared. So part of the path is 16 meters squared. How do I work out this second part here then? Well, if I notice the shape of the path, or the path, is a parallelogram. Now, some of you might have struggled on this because you'd be like, yes, but we've already done this part of the path, and you'd be half right. But let's just look at the whole part for now. It's a parallelogram, so if I select that, there, hopefully, oh, for some reason I can't make it the same shape, but let's just pretend it's the same shape. Can I work out then the length, so the area of this parallelogram here? Do I know the base? Yes, the base is 10. So let's call this path 2. I know the base here is 10, wasn't it? And what's the height of this path then? Well, it's telling me there, the height of the path is 2. So I know that it's 10 times 2 equals 20 meters squared. But you've not done just yet, because if you noticed, I've already got this weird like sort of square in the middle here. So like few of you might have realized that I can't lay the path over that path here, path number 1. I can't lay path number 2 on top of it. So that, because it's already there, isn't it? So I need to just take one lot of that path away as such. So path 2 doesn't need to go over this square here. Well, how do I work out the area of this square? Well, look, it's 2 meters this way, and it's 2 meters this way. So it's 4 meters squared altogether. If I take that from the total of path number 1, which is 16, and path number 2, which is 20, both together equal 36 meters squared. Then I'm going to take away one of those squares, so 4 meters squared. I'm going to take that away, and I should end up then with 32 meters squared for the path. Okay, my next question for you then is, what is the area for the grass bits of the garden? Well, I know the whole. I now know that the paths are 32 meters squared. So in your portfolio, I want you to tell me what the area of the grass is for Holly's garden. Okay. Right, your next question then. Let me minimize this screen here. I just want you to work out, very similar to what we did there, this bit here is, well, I knew that I'd already got a path there because I did path number 1. So I'm not going to lay path number 2 down over it, so I'll just need to take part of it away. Because you did that, you can start understanding then how to find out the shaded regions here. So 3A, what's the shaded regions? Look at the triangle. Do I know my base? Do I know my height? How do I then work out the area of a triangle? So how am I going to then work out the shaded area of this rectangle here if the triangle is no longer shaded in? Over to you guys, press pause and then play for the answers. Okay, piece of paper for this one. So working out for 3A, I'm just going to put it here. So I can find out there that the base there is 3 centimeters, 3 centimeters from the triangle. I'm going to times it by the height, which is 4 centimeters. And then because it's a triangle, I then divide it by 2. So, oh, I need to make that bigger for you, don't I? There you go. So 3 times 4 is 12 centimeters, and then divide that by 2 would then be 6 centimeters squared. So that is the area for the first one. Well, let's have a look at the bottom of the next one. If you notice, it's exactly the same shape, except for this time it's the opposite. So do I know the whole? Can I work out the whole? Yes, because look, here is the length of the whole rectangle. Don't get mixed up with this 3 centimeters. That was just a triangle. So look at this bit here. That would then be, if I do number B here, that would be 9, and then I'm timesing it by the width, which is 4. 9 times 4 equals 36, and I'm dividing that by 2, aren't I? What's 36 divided by 2? 30 divided by 2 is 15. 6 divided by 2 is 3, so it's 18 centimeters squared. Let's just rewind. I could work out 3A because I know how to work out the area of a triangle. Base times height divided by 2. How did I work out B then? Well, I found out the whole rectangle, and then I took away. No, I've not even taken it away yet, have I? It's a good thing I checked, wasn't it? Now I've just found out the area of the rectangle. I actually take away my triangle, don't I? So take away the 6 centimeters squared there. 18 take away 6 would be 12 centimeters squared. Good thing I checked, wasn't it? So I worked out the whole rectangle and then took the triangle away because now I worked out what that was. So I could then work out the type. Okay, right. Last bit of today's maths lesson is on your portfolio. It's a hard question. Okay, it's very similar to the path question we had earlier. Toshi's garden is a rectangle of grass surrounded by a path 1 meter wide. I want to know the area of the whole path. Now we've been told the area of the whole garden, including the path, 7 meters there. This is 6.5 down. And we've been told that the path is 1 meter in width. Now, when you do this, be careful, because if you were to work out this rectangle here, going all the way across almost like that, yeah, and work out the area of that path, but be careful because I've worked out the area of that path. So if I did the same over here, these sections here, that bit, I can't scribble for some reason. This bit and this bit are no longer 6.5 meters long, are they? If you notice, I've already done this path and I've already done this path. How long is this rectangle here now? And we've already been told how wide it is because we've just been told the 1 meter is wide. Okay, so you should be able to work out the area of the path. If you've done that, can you then work out the area of, you guessed it, grass? Okay, well done for these past couple of weeks, year 6. It's not easy working out the areas of all these different types of shapes and remembering them. It's definitely not easy to work out the area of all these different sort of problem solving activities either. Really, really well done. You give yourself a pat on the back, make yourself a cup of tea after this one, and get ready for English after break time. See you next week.